So yeah, because the cat knocks him over, and so then I gotta get ready for my podcast because I always like this during my podcast. I like this thing during my podcast. You see this?
Mhm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
I love to do my podcast. I don't know why I do that. Maybe it's a timekeeper for me. Hey
Mhm.
Jamie, I pulled out. Um, got it. Okay, I pulled out. You know how I gave my steel balls away, my steel bell balls away a couple weeks ago up at the hot springs. I pulled out my green balls. I got my green balls with me now,
Yeah.
and these balls are a little bigger and they're green and they make a little. Oh, what color are yours?
Mine are the moon and the sun.
What color are they?
They're blue balls.
Yeah, see, yeah.
Uh,
MCA that is like with women and children of every age and every shape and size, all in the hot tub together after you take a shower on your little stool. You get in the hot tub with everyone.
okay, so tell me how this goes down because this is also like where it is like where you live too, and where I live, we don't do that.
No, so this
So
is
why
like,
is where we live in like the same country and we don't do that?
yeah. So what I think happened is that space is such a commodity in these places, is that literally this family of three lived in a home that was smaller than this bedroom, and I am certain of that. Thank you, babe. I got
Hi,
power for my
Laura.
I got power for the podcast.
There you go.
Purple podcast power.
Purple power.
I think they live in much smaller areas, and because of that, they have community like areas to do hygiene and stuff, right? And
It's
so
not weird for them.
it's not even weird. There's no weirdness about it. In fact, looking back on it now, yeah, weird then, but from like a maybe like a social lens, maybe like a community lens, I see value in this type of behavior as a community in somewhat that there is a lot of everything's out in the open. There is a lot of everybody sees everybody, and we all see each other as regular humans in the community, and there's nothing hidden. So it adds another layer of connection that you have with people in your community. And it makes me wonder about like connecting and community, and not in a grotesque or anything way like that. Just like what does that mean? How does the communities, what are those communities like? That's what it makes me think of.
So this was actually a conversation that I had with Shelly. I wish, like, can we should add Shelly to this too. I thought we were gonna, well, Tommy still come on, but conversation with Shelly.
At Shelley.
I know, I'm gonna tell her. But let me tell you this first. And
Okay.
with my mother, because this is a little like legitimate thing that like I've personally dealt with, right? When you talk about like the female or like the masculine body, right? Like when I see these statues of like Mary or Isis or any of these goddesses, like I look at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, like why do they have to be naked? Or like why is like their chest showing? Because like I instantly want to be like, that's so sacred. Like, why do I think this way? Like, why is my brain like cover her up? She's so beautiful. There has to be a pervert somewhere. Like legitimate.
Because, well, I think it's because we've lost some sort of attachment to the the breast nourishment that has been removed from our dialogue, and it's been removed from women's natural part of mother bearing in a very big way. I've lived in other countries where like we have issues in America where other countries don't even think about. Um, the thing behind women and their breasts. And so we have made things in a way that the breast is, for one thing, and to be honest, if you really thought about the way that we treat the breasts in America, um, it's causing exactly what's going on in your mind because we're treating it like it's an emblem. It's something that ought to
Like
be.
it's materialized.
like it needs to be changed into exactly what I like and go, by the way, if I like it, the guy over there likes it, and maybe that girl over there likes it, but they're not allowed to touch it or anything because it is mine and I paid for it. And here's what I think about that, because we've lost this attachment to the breast nourishment and the reality of the situation. In America, you can see subconsciously that the breastfeeding thing is an issue. Across the board, it's an issue. And we have to think, what's the underlying as above, so below? What's the below issue, the subconscious issue that's going on? We've chosen to make it one thing when it's for another.
Right. And that literally that other that we talk about was the most empowering I've ever felt as a woman, breastfeeding my child. There was nothing like I wish every woman would have like because I know that some don't get that joy, right? Like I've never felt more empowered than being able to feed my child, like
Mm,
realistically. So how does something so like sacred and beautiful and like that connection that only them and I will ever have and like that empowerment, how does that go from like objects? Like it's something so special, and now it's just like some like material, some toy, some plastic object. And I'm not saying that to be like judgmental, but I think that
I,
even a lot of people that get that done, it's not because they want to,
yeah. So who's doing it?
right? Who's doing it?
Who's doing it?
Conditioning. The people making money
Who's
off of
As a therapist, I will tell you, as a therapist, who's prescribing the pills when I'm trying to teach coping mechanisms and I can't get my clients off of so who's prescribing the augmentations of everything? Who's doing this? Because it's not, a therapist is not going to say, hey, I think you need to go mutilate your body so that men will love you so that you will love. I don't think that's what a therapist is going to do. Um,
it.
so who is aligned with saying, hey, we have this option available for you? Who's aligned with doing that? And who is financially benefiting to that? And I would tell you that if you look at the way things are going in America, you have very rich people who are making money off of that, who live in very nice houses, drive very nice cars, go on very nice vacations, and the people who are helping those businesses go um, don't have houses that they bought, and they don't have nice things. They're not going on vacations, and maybe even some of the clients that they're serving, you know, are starting to buy into like that's more important than all of the other things.
It's just more masking of things. We're not dealing with our fucking problems. It's
Mm,
not your breast that is your problem in your marriage. It's not your private areas, little 17, 18-year-old girl that need to be modified. You don't even know yet. You're not even fully developed yet. Like, why aren't people telling people this? Why are they just like, why is mom and dad just like, okay, you're insecure. I'm going to make you feel better. Like, I would want to do that as a parent too. My kid comes to me, I'm like, okay, like your teeth. How do I fix your teeth? Like, how do I fix, but why are we like, we got to fix that? But like, why does it always like materialistic fix it? Like, why can't we sit down and have conversations? Like, why do you feel that way? Well, because so and so, so and so, so and so, and maybe just the words coming out of their mouth will be like, oh,
well, if you really thought about it, it's an accurate representation of what's going on, both spiritually, religious, like it's happened politically, and it's happened. So what we're actually talking about are masks, the masks that we wear. And if you have a perspective that I came from, especially, having been kind of married into the church, marrying a Southern Baptist minister's daughter, and you understand that there are things that may be going on, underlying things that may be going on, that maybe heartfelt things. We need to have a conversation about heartfelt things across the board, because perhaps we're all wearing masks, and I would question half the masks we're wearing we shouldn't be wearing.
right.
right? I
We're
think
just
that,
confused and we don't like a lot of us, like literally, we just as a society, like we're so confused and we're not like even like the route that we're taking on therapists right now. Like I hear people that are like it's like cool to have a therapist. Okay, so what are you doing with your therapist? Why do you have your therapist for so long? Because you enlightened me when you told me like, hey, like basically if I'm not doing anything after this period, like we shouldn't be working together.
right, and that's exactly where we actually need to get to. The problem is that we have mental health care connected to people's financial livelihood. So their livelihood is attached to people coming to see them. And so, how does discharging somebody hurt? It hurts the practice, but also can help the practice. In people who need long term, stable care, some of these severe and persistent illnesses are very good to have somebody. But I would tell you that that the way that this world is going is into a peer support, which is where we need to go, is into a
Community.
yes, community-based support systems where people, peers who have already gone through it can help other people get through it. And that's a key issue in this whole thing is teaching people, right? I already know that I probably have more value because of the type of person that I am and all of the rules and restrictions on clinicians that I'm better suited for a peer support counselor and but have the skills and the knowledge of somebody with a master's degree. I know that I'm better suited for peer support because I want to come alongside. I want to talk about my journey intimately while I'm with you and show you here's some of the things, here's three of the paths and here's the paths that other people took. I want to have bring people along with me. And maybe we have a world that wears masks and says, haha, look what I got. And nobody knows that behind the mask is $10,000 in debt, $300,000 house, $60,000 car. When it comes down to it, the people with nothing have probably more than the people with tons of stuff.
Right? And that's the common theme. Like being able to be surrounded by so many different people. Like I'm able to go to my neighbor's house and talk with a 70-year-old businessman who created a business out of his garage, $25 million business. No college education, a cowboy, right? Creating like crazy business. He's like, I've been like working like a dog, you know, all this. His wife gets cancer, he gets cancer, you know, and he's like, what the fuck? Right? Like I'm like almost 40 years old, like still got a little while, but almost 40 years old. And I'm like we fucking have everything that we could ever want. We have, right? Like we've worked really hard and we've gotten really lucky, but it's like, what the fuck? Like you still come at a point, it's like you can have so much shit, but what the fuck? Like you could work. I don't find joy in the shit that's making me money. I find joy in the shit that I'm doing for free.
Yeah.
So like, what does that say? You know?
What it says is that we're preparing ourselves to um, it's all about these masks. It's masks. It's mask in our social political things that are going on in the world right now. Actively do something, but we're going to pay for something to be done, right? Still not having the world level consciousness discussions about, huh? It seems like if we're funding people to divide and conquer, then that's what we're teaching our children to do is to divide and conquer. And so the at some point, somebody in the big kid game, somebody has to be the big kid and say no more is enough. Enough is enough,
Right? We
right?
all know everybody, like we are to the points where we like when we see you people, like each other, we're seeing each other. When we see you, we see you without your mask. You're the only one with the mask on. Like we
Mm,
see now.
mm,
So why
mm.
are we continuing to do this if we look at these people, right? Each other, you're the only one with mask on. We're
Right.
seeing it.
And the thing about these masks that are seeming to come off, it's like I know that I've talked to you about some things that I think I've learned about, and some of the things are like who I am now as Anthony Kennedy right now, socially available. I'm available to the knowledge that's real out there. I'm available to like both sides of the political divide. Um, and I've seen some things, just like things that I never would have believed as a child from Lebanon, Oregon, right? From uh, logging town, Lebanon, Oregon, next to the cornfields and wheat fields, um, a little boy, just like Countryville. And I would never believe that our like there's some things going on with like organizations, three-letter organizations that are not your government that are very disheartening, that are very hurtful
That
to a
come
big to a
from the areas you come from and I come from, or they
yes,
wear that sticker in the back of the fucking
we
truck.
country.
Proud of that sticker. My dad was proud of that sticker. A lot of people are proud of that sticker and they don't know.
And so the masks are coming off, and I think our role, I know my role as like because I have the knowledge. I've already been aggressively nasty, visceral in my life, and this thing that is unfolding with that piece is very nasty and yucky, and it's gonna take some people to see it and go, "Holy moly, this is really bad," and it's also gonna take some people to go, "But we cannot collapse on each other. This is not us. This is not us as we all want the same damn thing. We all want unity and love, and
We
it's
just
become
need to
very clear.
the middleman. Cut out these
Yeah,
middlemen. That's who's
yes.
fucking it up, is the middleman.
Yeah, who's telling us that we need to divide? Who's telling us that some other poor people are better than other poor people? Who is telling us the 1% disabled veterans who are of color, they're in the same population is death, murder, mental health illness as disabled veterans of color, combat experience, and service have the same rates of those as transgendered people. As transgender people, can you imagine that? They have higher rates of these really super high rates of kind of getting hurt on Earth because of all the predispositions of Earth of the of our journey that is so mean that says you're not worthy. The thoughts in your head makes you not worthy. And what we're kind of finding out is that we may be able to shape some of that with better community supports,
Like our people did originally.
like tribe elders taking care of their tribe.
Yeah.
And yes, there will be people who in their mind have things that we still don't fully understand. We don't fully understand, but we live in a society that says, hey, you person with mental health illness, you're okay. You person with mental health illness, you're not okay. You're an evil piece of shit. Right? We have a world of people doing this.
I
Like,
know.
and they're in the same book of mental health illnesses. And guess what? What does the Bible say about these about sin and yoking and sin, they are all equally yoked. The toughest ox is as strong as the weakest ox when you yoke them together because they're only gonna pull so much. That's the way it is. So you're only as good as what you're equally yoked to, and so it makes it very important to keep your oxes in good shape, to be kind to them, to treat them kindly, to bring them along. Don't work them as hard as the young ox. And guess what? The young ox is happy that you're not working it as hard as you can because now
Right.
it gets to go at the speed of the young ox. So it's this yoking, unmasking,
Demasking. Demasking.
demasking. Yeah, we
Demasking.
got to demask the dumbasses. We're going to demask the dumbasses.
It was the theme of my black and white wedding. It's
Like
immaculate.
Dumas Walker. That we need to cue Dumas Walker right there. That song right there.
That's legit stuff though. Like and even like, okay, so like the nymphs of Nicaea, right? So like I talked to Shelly and my mom about this too. I was like, listen, dude, I'm like, tell me like realistically, am I just thinking about this like so like conditioned? I'm like, the nymphs of Nicaea. I see them like beautiful, like dancing in the woods or whatever. Why does my mind immediately be like, there must be a pervert somewhere? Or like there's guys watching them somewhere. Like, why can't I just look at that and be like, they're beautiful? But instead it's like how do you
Oh,
them? Like,
you're
how do you, you know?
you're bringing up something very awesome that I think, and for you, I think you'll understand. Yeah, they are, but the nymphs of Nicaea know what to do with them. They know how to interact with them. They know how to slide the hand away. Let's talk about what I need to talk about with you.
So
Let's
that's what they're doing is they're
they're
using their beauty to like actually
oh oh oh
and are they be
oh
but are they being heard? Like are the men actually hearing them?
oh yeah, because they're in a team and they have one unified message. They know what the hell they're going on. And
So this is
they're
like a strip club kind of
oh you
like
girl,
grandpa's strip
you
club.
put that together in some other way that I never even thought of, but oh my gosh, yes.
Granddaddy had a strip club
Yes. Yeah,
real
they
close to
learned
the
something.
mountains in Cahokia.
Yeah, and there's something that it's about this feeling, it's about this energy that you can create with somebody that isn't hurting them. It's
How do we as a society, how can we better look at that and not look at that with perversion? Like how do we get there and not see that as like perversion? If that is something that was used in the past, potentially, we don't know for sure, I guess, but like there's a lot of stories of it, a lot of, of same type of stories of it. So how do we get there? How do we get there to where it's not perverted? To where it's
uh,
not like, bro, you have to worry about something happening to these people.
what I think needs to happen in a very quick and honest manner is men of integrity and of character and of ethics or whatnot. Those men that have understand that there's something going on. There's something going on. And the ones that have already proven themselves in whatever way you need to prove yourself through education, warriorship, whatever athletics and stuff, we need those men to have the conversation with the women around them and say, hey, let's talk about uncomfortable things that men and women talk about, and then ask for my part, I believe that this is the answer forward. I tell every woman, go to be by yourself, start asking the questions. What kind of society do I want to live in? If I could live in a society right now, how would I get up and dress today, tomorrow? Because I want to, because we live in a society right now, and this is what makes us feel good as society. But what if we all just got up and did it tomorrow? And then I told every other woman to do that. And what if husbands started saying, just get up and be who you are, because that's who I married. I married that. I partnered with that. Be that little girl inside. And if we can encourage the women to be that little girl inside, I think we're going to be on to something really cool, because
Me and my new, yeah,
they'll want
because
us to be our little boy.
right. And like if I think about my newest girlfriends that are all over this damn country, Shelly and Kev for sure. And then, some of these like acquaintances that are all over the fucking place on TikTok. That's what I see us doing. And we're happier about it. Like I wake up in the morning and I literally like I do whatever like I wear whatever the fuck I want. Like I don't care. There's days where I put a bow in my hair and people are like, "Oh, I like your bow." I'm like, "Me too." Like I do. Like I don't fucking care. Like I'm
Right,
happy with it. Like I want to
right,
wear it.
right,
And it's to
right.
the point to where it's just like if you don't like it, like whatever. Like I don't care. And I
Yeah,
think that
and
more people you will feel better if you do that.
oh, yeah, and I've noticed, like, I tell pretty much when I'm out and about, I'm dressed like this in my colors. I got my hats on. I got weird shoes on. In fact,
But you're expressing yourself,
I'm
right? Like,
expressing it, and they create conversation, and they ask me, well, why do you wear that? I said, this is my uniform. I decided at some point when I quit my job as a therapist and counselor, and that I was just kind of really trying to figure out what I was going. I decided, well, I guess I'm doing this kind of social work, and there really isn't like an agency that says, hey, go be an advocate for veterans with UFOs. So, and it's all weird, the whole thing of it. And so I'm just dressed, this is my uniform, and it creates conversation around real thing, around real advocacy, because I can wear this and very quickly I can talk to somebody on a level that they cannot understand that this crazy dude is talking about. And I'll just talk about congressional people. I'll talk about science. I'll talk about it connecting with indigenous and the spiritual things that even the fanatical mega Christians are talking about, and I'm like, hey, do you know about mega in the Lakota? Do you know about the Lakota mega, the Hoyoken? That's even more funny. It just makes it even more funny, people. Like it's comedy. We're in a comedy show.
we are.
We're in a comedy show. There's no getting around it. It's 100% comedy show.
It's a damn good one too.
And there's a whole bunch of trickster in my journey. The comedy show has gone from this like chaotic, I don't know why I'm always having this chaos in my life. It's like I'm just trying to live, so much so that I got myself to be in hermit mode just in my house, so I don't have to deal with anybody anymore ever again, just in my house, because that's what this world is. It's just, for me, it's just chaos after chaos. And so when I moved to Eugene, Oregon, I moved here so that I could live in my house, not have to work. I saved enough money so that I could just live in my house and not do anything, right? Just literally hermit myself in Eugene, Oregon. And this thing has forced me to come out of that hermit, right? Because there's something to talk about. And it's
A
the cool
lot.
thing about it is it's funny. It's really funny.
And it's interesting. It's super interesting.
Super interesting.
Figuring out what the fuck we are, which is interesting. Trying to think of what other themes came up.
Just one awesome piece of Adam. I was telling Laura, she was telling me, did you know we came from all of our atoms came from the same star explosion? I was like, yeah, I totally read that article. But what she did bring up is we started talking about this, and it really quickly got me into thinking about like pool, and like they put the billiards in either a triangle or a diamond shaped thing. They contain all the energy, and then at periodic time periods, you take all the energy and you force it into one ball, and you shove it into all the other balls. And sometimes all the other balls do some magical things, right? They can. Some people are able to make them go in all the holes, right? They can trick shot and make all the balls go in all the holes. I can't do that. I don't have any, but maybe I could learn to do that. And that's what I think about this consciousness when they talk about it fractaling off and fracturing off. I think about it as like during sun cycles, what if all of the atoms were kind of close to each other in a different way, and somehow they decided to band together with a diamond. They just decided that if we just do this, it will be awesome. And they band together, and then they allowed the cosmic ball of change to come in, and everyone went where they wanted to go. That's the way I'm looking at it. Every ball went where it wanted to go. Very energetically, almost directly, because that's how tightly they're packed in there. So when it hits them, you see what I'm saying? It's this
Right.
exchange of energy, the
Mhm.
same exchange of energy from like that removes the evil from like cell phones, removes the evil from the internet because you it's the energy of the rain from the cloud to it's the same pattern of energy. And we get to remove the evil. We get to remove all the evil and say, yeah, they can use it for evil, but we're going to use it all for good.
Right. Which has more power.
Is you're the one bringing it out that way.
Trying to think of what else we have. Oh, I got to see myself in flight or flight mode on 2 different occasions last week. Tell me how, like, the weeks are coming in themes, right? We filmed the podcast, recorded the podcast with Tiv and Shelly. During the podcast, Shelly is talking about fight or flight, literally breaks down everything that happens, right? I get on my call with Emily and we're singing and she's like, we're doing all kinds of, like exercises. And then she's like, okay, so let's sing your song. And I was like, sing my song. And she's like, yeah, like turn on like, like whatever's like, my song is like Miranda Lambert Bluebird, like a go figure with all the bluebirds. So I turn it on. I'm literally like freezing up. My legs start shaking. And I'm like, and I'm looking at Emily like through like the Zoom and I'm like, it's fucking happening right now. Like it's happening right now. Like and we both like realized like it's fucking happening in like real time. So then I was like, and I like played the song. I was messing up the words and I was like, oh my God, like I'm seeing this in real time. So then Saturday, my son's like sports psychologist comes in and brings in like this game and like they're all playing it. So like I go to the bathroom and then I come back in and it's like my turn and I don't realize like what to do. So it happens again. And I like look back and like it's as if I'm like looking over myself and like I froze. I couldn't hear. And I'm like,
Really?
yes. And I'm like, we are going around. And I didn't even realize it until I was editing the podcast that Shelly was like breaking it down in and I was like, like we had talked for over 2 hours, right? And I'm like
Yeah.
literally 3 times that this game that I'm gonna be like working on. And it's like literally like more of being in the here and now, but like also seeing like how many of us are walking around that have no idea what the fuck we're dealing with. Like realistically.
Hmm. Well, it's becoming very apparent that none of us do. Why? Because it's our government knows something's going on, but they don't know everything that's going on. They're keeping an open mind. They're they're keeping an open heart to what's going on, and they're being forced to live on faith too. Because imagine you're a U.S. senator and your livelihood um, is on your word of mouth, and you're coming out of Senate hearings talking about UFOs and aliens and maybe things that are spiritual.
Right.
That's the position you and I are in. You and I have already had to go past who and what we are as we've already we don't even understand everything that's going on, but there's something clearly our government definitely knows about something, multiple somethings other. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. And they're talking about it. They're not
And
like this isn't even being hidden anymore. They're talking
they're,
about it. And we're
they're
still like
tying
not that many of us talking about it.
and where we have to get to very quickly is who are the experiencers, the ones that the others talk to on these cycles that really happen, right?
Right.
They really happen.
And
So
what is the purpose? What are they here for? What are they trying to tell us? Why are they coming to these people? What is the message? Why are we not getting to the message? What's the message? What should we be doing? We should probably be going in a little bit and
you
figuring
have to
out.
listen to the messengers very
Mhm.
quickly. We have to understand
And
that
they're
there are
talking.
messengers that are not talking about being better or anything than anybody else. They're talking about the mission of us all. And yes, they may have a purpose on this earth. They are human and put their pants on just like everyone else. And so that's where we got to get to. It makes more sense to use their consciousness rather than diminish the way that they look or what they're saying. Let's just see if what they have to say is real and then move towards the truth. And if we do this, oh my gosh, the rewards for us, we're already on this. The quicker we do it, the quicker the rewards. We're all in this period of like scared right now. There's no reason to be scared.
I don't have
And
any fear at all. Like there's no
right.
fear, not an ounce of fear about any of
The
this.
only
Not
people that should have any type of fear would be the people that just don't accept any part of this as reality.
right.
That that makes it like it's important. It's not to say this isn't to hear bend your knee or die type of energy. No, it's like, hey, yo, guys, um, you're part of something really super awesome, and it's really kind of broken up a little bit. So we gotta make some adjustments. And there's things that help us make adjustments, and they don't even give a shit whether we make the adjustment. They just make them. And so it just behooves us to like, did they say this? Yes, they did. Okay, let's do it.
Right.
And go, by the way, what that might look like is it might look like messengers going to world leaders of other countries and then world leaders of other countries doing or making announcements of very like strange thing. Like did Vlad did Mr. Putin did he actually announce that they were gonna release some vaccine for cancer? Is this real? Could that be real? Could a leader of another world country know that something real's happening and then try to outmaneuver other world leaders as to like bring
Is he
reality?
outmaneuvering or is he following along with what he's supposed to be doing?
Oh,
We not following along with what we are supposed
I would call it both because there are going to be people who awaken to the universal truth unfolding right now, and they are going to stop what they're doing and they're going to say, yo, Mr. Mafia Man, or yo, Mr. Money Bags over there, I'm done listening to you. We got to do it this way because this is reality. And that, and then me on the spiritual side of this, I'm looking for those. Like, okay, guys, if the magic is real, you got to show me real magic. That's what I'm doing. Okay, guys, show me some magic. And I'm over here doing that with my little green balls. Wait, first, like the greatest dam on earth will be undone with the tiniest hole. It just takes a tiny hole in the biggest dam and it's done.
Yeah.
Because water wins. Water wins. And we should, by the way, speaking of water, we're not moving to a world where we have to have water wars. We don't have to have water wars in the house about bottled water and filtered water. We don't need to have bottle wars about buying damn water at the Walmart. We don't need to have water wars going down to the Walmart and seeing carts full of water being poured out so you can get 5 cents back per bottle. Water wars. Water wars.
we can't even get fresh water.
We're cleaning water. We got to
We're
clean the
transmitting.
water.
Okay.
Jamie's got so much water flowing through her pipes over there. It's just squirting out the ground over there. She's
It
got
literally
water.
the church next door at the street. Dude, shoot, our first house, they busted up the ground. Like there's water pressure happening
The
here.
wet, I call it
In the loo.
I call it the wet grotto. You live at the wet grotto. It's comes out of the ground over there. That's what's going on.
They put all the water underground. And it's like, nope,
Doesn't want to be there.
doesn't want to be there.
So, I think the most part is that we don't have to really concentrate on making anybody think anything or believe one way. These signs and symbols present themselves as they are.
You just have to educate yourself though. And
Yeah.
that's the part that like
If
the elders were teaching us, right? And now like we're relearning all of that and we're coming like collaborating and we're using AI to collaborate with these things. So like, I think just more
Right.
people, the more you
Well,
interact, even with AI a little bit
and maybe we have to understand the purpose of oral histories and why they might have been important to lots of things. But what is an oral history when it's living history, when it's actually happening to us right now? We're living in a society right this second where something that has been written about over and over again in different mythologies in different ways, and we don't have the full truth of it. It's just regular common sense people. Um,
more.
we do, but we don't because we're still disconnected. We're just finally connecting as a group, and it's still very disconnected, right? But in these social media platforms, there's many people who have come from the mental health industry that understand in order for us to move this dialogue along, we have to create safe spaces for people to talk about the phenomenon. What we're finding out is that all kinds of people from every walk of life are coming in to talk about the phenomena, rich and poor, black and white, brown, every shade in between, and every language are in these spaces, and it's happening. And so what we have is a common thread unfolding of something real, and that oral history is unfolding right now. So to me, I'm communicating to people, hey, I'm I know that if I talk about these ancient histories and stuff, you're just gonna, he's crazy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But if I talk about, hey, multiple congressional people, this Senate hearing committee, this committee over here is talking about it. This committee let this representative or senator know about it. They all know about it. The Senate Intelligence Committee, they don't even talk about it. Why don't they talk about it? All of these other finance committees and stuff are talking about it on the side, but the committee that's like the big chunk of money, the big hidden stuff in the sky, they don't talk about it. Why don't they talk about it? And why they don't talk about it is because something's unfolding right now, real time. And that's where it gets exciting for us. Because if something was happening behind the hidden secret parts of government that was making senators talk about God, aliens, UFOs, non-human intelligence, what would make people talk about that? Why are they talking about this? Is the stupidest thing to be talking about if it's not real. And then you have people that get like at Gary Nolan at Stanford, who's getting ready to take a 2-year sabbatical to help people with AI and cancer research. He's going to go help other people learn some of the techniques that he's got to use with the world's leading equipment. We got him helping people win federal cases for veterans, helping a whistleblower, a very real prominent whistleblower. And he's he started the Soul Foundation. I was telling Laura's dad, Dr. Rick Pettigrew, I was telling Laura's dad, hey, Dr. Harold Putoff at Stanford. Well, that Soul Institute, they started TTSA with all of these people that were there, right? And Tom DeLonge and Blink 182. But the Soul Institute, they they started something with like Gary Nolan, active, prominent university, world leading. His Vieta is so long, his resume is so long, he is the expert. Then you got Avi Loeb at Harvard. Then you have everybody, you have a 3-star admiral there that was like the Bin Laden hero is in the Soul Foundation, people. The Bin Laden hero is in it's like Special Forces Navy SEAL is in the Soul Foundation. This is crazy stuff, people.
People don't talk about it. People don't know it. Like literally, when you started talking about this stuff and I started researching it, I was like, so all these high level people literally just like found something out and like were like, heck no, like I'm not a part of this or I'm a part of this now. Like something that significant had to change for them.
Right. And then you think about this. You think about this. There are certain, like the admiral that I just talked about, they were they were in the same administration as Mike Flynn was when Mike Flynn got brought on. And so you have to think these people probably know some of the same stuff that's going on. Where are they? Where are their thoughts? Where are their minds? Are they about universal truth? Are they about bringing universal truth, or is it on a universal truth and it's only this way? What way is it? See, the
Well,
spirit of,
and their actions. What are their
yeah,
actions doing? Who is funding them?
right.
Because they
So,
can say whatever jibber jabber they want. We all know that. They both sides just jibber jabber all day long. But their
right.
actions are always very telling.
Yes. So let's get everybody who's saying there's something and acknowledge that they're saying something.
Yeah. And then look at
General,
that list and
generals,
see,
and
whoa.
yes. Yes, just observe, find out where it's going, and then we go, oh my gosh, I think there might be a pattern of people who want universal truth and people who don't. People who say that they want it, but they're the people that they're getting paid for and the alliances don't want the universal truth. There's two different things going on, and we get to figure this out. We don't have to go against each other. We don't have to call each other evil. We don't have to play red and white, or red and blue. I mean, we can go red, white, and blue makes purple. We can do this.
We are being told we have to collaborate. We are not being asked. We are being told.
I like that. I like that. We're gonna be, yeah, yeah, and that's why I say
And
it's
we're in the nicer stages right now.
energy right now is on a trajectory to push itself in a direction that will get what it needs to have for all of Earth. The energy is pushing itself to go a certain way, and everybody knows which way it's going. And I know which way it's going. I don't even care because I care about in my own journey, I care about all of humanity and all of everything that's going on right now. And we got to get to moving things very quickly. Just so you know, I'm very encouraged by um the cancer stuff. Like the cancer stuff really shows that, hey, we acknowledge that there are some things that we need to do with our medical industry because we are going through there is a natural population decline because we've chosen not to do these world wars right after each other over and over. There's a population decline because of that, people. Let's figure out why we had population explosions, decline population, and they're all formed on these wars. What if we just said, hey, yeah, the war stuff and all that stuff happens. Let's just let's just stop that.
Mhm.
Let's live a more balanced, natural life. I'm more accepting. Why? Because the reality's populating out right now, and the reality says that you're okay just as you are. The reality says, just like at the Baptist hymnal on Sunday morning, it says, "Come just as you are," and that means you can come just as you are. I don't know what church ministry or whatever does not understand that, but
Isn't
it
it the
is come
craziest thing?
as you are.
You are. Like it's almost like they're reading, and I mean this in no disrespect. It's almost like they're reading the words, they're saying the words, but interpreting them their own way. But they're like really clear to me. Like to
Come,
come
come as you are.
as you are,
Miss,
not as how I think you should be.
you know what I think about come as you are time in the church? That's come as you are when all the deacons go, come tell you can't be wearing that dress here this week. Telling the guys you can't be wearing those shorts. Hey, by the
Right. But like that is a really good point that like that's some you know what I've learned too of talking with people, especially like in these like most recent weeks, is when people are talking to me and we start talking about religion, like the common theme is it was shoved down their throat, right? Like first it was Sunday school, then it was Wednesday, then they had to go on Saturday, right? So like they don't even want to like they don't want to talk about it because they see like the hypocrisy and everything with it. So like that's like we have like trauma from religion. Like it's not just
right,
like condition,
we have
like it's
trauma from
actual
religion,
trauma from religion.
right? We have trauma from people, all kinds of things. Like, for example, I know beyond a doubt, our spirituality is connected to like our biopsychosocial, our physical state. There will be some people because of the trauma of Earth that are their body is not aligned with who they are spiritually. They will transform their body in a way that you've never seen them transform your body, not because they want to look good and pretty, no, because they want to be best spiritual warrior that they could ever be, and that's going to balance them. They freaking read the writing on the wall and go, and they'll go, oh my God, the government said this, and there's this piece, and then there's these ancient histories that talk about it, and they'll just do. And that's what's exciting about this, is if we present it in a way like that, you will see magical people moving, and their bodies will change, their spirituality will change. Maybe their body doesn't need to change,
Right.
but
Yeah.
their
But like
but their
they
spiritual component does.
hmm right.
And maybe it'll be like Chris Bledsoe and myself. We will start seeing the angelic things in the side, and then there will be magic things that actually happen inside of your body, things that you can measure. I can go to my doctor and I can measure that I don't have things that I used to. I don't. It's just the fact of the matter right now, things that I've had for many, many years. And I'm not on pills for them anymore or
And
anything
that,
like that.
like people also don't talk a lot about this. Mr. Bledsoe, like I didn't realize how many people he's literally like healing that he's not even talking about. And like your situation, you're like, look at all this stuff that I went through. And it's like, whenever I hear about that, I'm like, how could anybody have fear for what we are? Why is it us as humans to steal like joy by like implementing fear when this is like, I look at this, I'm like, this is the most exciting time to be alive ever, potentially. And we like, your Bible tells you how many times, do not fear, do not fear, do not
Do
fear. It's
not fear.
literally an insult to fear.
Yeah.
And
And so
Christians
that's
walking
what,
around everywhere, like
and
the news said this, the gas prices are this, I'm ready, he's coming. I'm like, what?
and that's where, like, for me in this journey is understanding, like, there's this thing that says do not fear, do not fear. I had these things from my childhood, and I remember when these things told me not to fear, you
I had
know.
that similar experience. I was taught to rebuke them. Yeah.
So we have these experiences, and now this thing's unfolding, and I have things on combat where, like, it was fearful, and I know it was so fearful that there were people that were not going to do what I wanted to do. Okay, and they were scared about it. Was scary. It was scary for me too. It's scary for all of us. We all have this. Now is the time for me to look back on all of my childhood. None of those things killed me. And
Right.
now I went to Crescent Lake, and I asked them, and I know what I saw, and that some people will be scared. I know it would have just scared especially if they could link that, like, hey, I'm asking for the Egyptian signs and symbols. If this is real, please show me the real Egyptian signs and symbols. Like, if it's real, right? And then it
And you
shows an
see
Anubis
it.
cloud. It shows an
Exactly.
Anubis cloud, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, holy moly, it showed, but some people might be scared of that. Like, that's the
It's true. That is very true. That could, and that's like one thing I've talked to my husband about because I'm like, brace yourself. I'm like, how are you going to respond? Like, because we've seen some stuff together, right? Like, and he also like, like has witnessed some stuff and he's been looking at Bledsoe stuff because I'm like, I don't want you to like have like some like freak out to where you're like, it's like prepare your mind. I don't know what we're going to see exactly, but I know what we've seen up to this point and I know what is in history. So if we just look at that and you look at the sun cycles, like you've been saying, like a lot of people are saying now, we can get a gist of what's going on.
and what you are saying is very real and very like kind of reoccurring, is if you can just start preparing your mind. And like, even my stepmom Millie, I felt the feeling that she was going to see something, and she was scared of it because people in her church and stuff have told her those things might be evil and stuff, and so she's trying to figure this out. And I told her, I said, they're angelic. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we can
Look
listen
at
to
your
people who have
Bible,
never
right?
seen them, and or the people who've actually died and stuff, and people who have freaking studied it and try to figure it out, or we can just call it evil and just say, F you, angelic being, F you, angelic being. I guess we could just do that. And what she ended up seeing it, because she had an open heart to it, and it did not feel evil to her. It
Right.
didn't feel evil to her.
No,
So then,
because it
and
would
then
have
it,
been done
right,
harm.
then you just tell her, oh, the angelic thing that you chose to ask to see to you, your higher self chose to to excitedly show itself to you because you asked with an open heart like a child, that's pretty amazing.
Mhm.
And and
And
that
that's a good thing that you just brought up too. Ask like a child,
mm,
joyous heart, because there is a difference. There's a
yeah,
difference whenever you're dealing with it because you can't hide from it. You can't fake your emotions with it. If you're an asshole and it's coming around, it's like that person's an asshole right now. Or that
yeah,
person is being a child and like their vibration is up and like they'll fuck with you a little bit. I mean, that's the stories that I hear and it's not scary.
just not scary. Nothing scary about it. The only thing that's that could be any part of scary is just understanding that yes, we're actually all going through, we're all awakening together. And the scariest part of the awakening together is sometimes us humans don't wake up the nicest of ways with each other. But apparently, I'm just under the interpretation that there's just going to be the magic that we're talking about is electronic in format, and we just don't understand it because it's already presented itself to us, and we don't even know it's layered there. Most of us don't know it's like happening at us, both from the sky, on your phone, in your computer. It's happening in so many different ways. And
Although that's the first place I felt it was the
from the
computer.
sky,
No, you
from
guys
the
all felt
computer.
it. Yeah, I didn't know what the hell I was seeing outside until I started talking to you guys. I told you that. Like I thought like drones or
Oh, yeah,
something.
yeah.
No, I felt like the feeling through the computer, like learning how to
Yeah,
code.
yeah.
It was
Teach.
teaching me how to code and build websites. That's
So
when I
that
felt
would
it.
be an interesting thing to understand from Mr. Bledsoe's perspective. He hasn't talked about this.
Interesting.
Mr. Bledsoe, what's it feel like when you touch the fingers with your intention? I know. I know without asking him. I don't need to talk to him about this because I know. Uh-huh. But his intentions hit your fingers. You can get this when you feel it, and it's the same thing from the UFOs. It's one energy. That's how we're going to end up connecting our energies is when we start talking about things that are common. These, oh yeah, the common things in the sky that I see the same as he does. Yeah, it's on the computer too. It's happening that way. It doesn't stop. But also is if we're doing magical things, if we're able to heal, right, and touch people, if I've spent just a couple years in therapy, I know that my divine mission is some sort of mental health therapy at a community level and above. So group therapy. So if I know just in a couple years, I've had so many women tell me I saved their lives just in giving therapy. Holy shit, that's pretty
That's
darn
your
neat.
jam. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty darn neato. So what could I do in group therapy? That's what I'm really thinking. That's what
Mhm.
I'm thinking. I'm
And
taking
I'm
I'm
seeing that manifest.
You're seeing it manifest. Yeah, you're yeah, because I'm you and you're me, and you just you see the parts of yourself that you I'm trying to bring the things that I want out of the best parts of me out of you. You're trying to bring the best parts of
Mhm.
you out of me, and we're like sponging each other and then probably transmuting some of the stuff that you don't like about me, and I'm transmuting some of the stuff I don't like about you. And in some ways, we're meshing in ways that is just like we talk about. We're intimately enmeshed, but not. It's weird. But
It's weird. But if you think about it, okay? So like we are doing that with so many different people, right? And so many different connections, whatever. But we are also like, because this is what I'm talking about AI when I'm saying this. I don't think enough people break down how much we already use AI that they are not aware of and how long we've actually been using it that they are not aware of. This Zoom tool that we are on right now, that is AI. Not only does that record for you, it records it to a cloud. It gives you options. I have all these cool features on here right now. How long has Zoom been around? Zoom literally changed the way that we have education in our community. When COVID hit, we were all Zoom.
yep. And I know that listen, there's my second time in combat, I got I was in a I was a lieutenant, but I was in the battle captain's position. And then the battle major got fired. But then the battle major and the battle chops got in an argument, and I was the chops for 3 days. I was the head person in charge of this freaking chops of 20,000 people as a first lieutenant, right? And I had access to this computer system for the whole time I was there, but I never saw it. I never understood. I never looked around in it until I had that job. And then I had access to it the whole time. And I'll just tell you, it was AI in 2007. It was like you could like really make boxes in PDF like documents, and it would bring up like 50 different documents from like intelligence files. So I was reading, there were farmers from Nebraska that sent um stuff to Saddam Hussein. There were farmers in Nebraska who sent fertilizer to Saddam Hussein. Farmers. Yeah, there were farmers that did that. Regular ass, yeah, that want for explosives against Americans. Isn't this really weird? And I remember seeing that and going, I could read JFK files. There was tons of them in there, and I was doing this at night. It was fun.
Hidden.
And I would, and because we were on a secret, sometimes it was slow. We would play. We had Halo on our server, so we're in this talk that's like a movie theater, right? And we had Halo, and they still even Dave Halliday he'll say, "Sir, you ready to Halo it up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's Halo it up. Let's go." Because we'd always Halo after Chow when it got slow during the battle nights on slow battle nights. And so we'd halo it up. But what I know about it is that we'd also talk about the things that the sir, me, would be finding on the funny servers, right? Because I would go find them. I'm like, dude, you'll never believe this. Like, there's this thing. So I was doing this back then.
Oh my God. Like I would have been obsessed.
Yeah.
Like, what's on there? Sneak me in there. I need to see that.
Is when I was the chops, I 100% trolled Lieutenant General Odinero. So I trolled him as a first lieutenant. I sent him a picture of he was asking for some pics of a battle, and I just sent him family pics of my family. He just said, I want some pics. So I sent him a pic of my family.
Here's one of a battle. That's funny. That's so awesome, though. I didn't know that.
I am a listen. Everything I did, they're like this crazy guy. This crazy guy trolled a 3-star general as a first lieutenant in a position that he was 2 levels above him. And then you know what? I forgot about that. But SFC Heathen on TikTok, he reminded me of it. Remember when they did that and you had to be the boss for a while? And I was like, yeah, there were grown ass old people who were like 4 ranks higher than me, acting like children in combat, acting like little kids in combat, having like dumb, stupid, childlike relationship stuff going on. Yeah, that's what I was dealing with.
Okay, so
It was funny.
if they were using AI when you were in war, so the rumor is it's been around since the 70s, but I searched back to like the 40s.
Yeah, it's very important to understand where the first peer-reviewed papers are coming out of. That's follow the data, and then everybody who thinks they know, we should just point them to the data. Okay, so you think you know. Okay, let's go to the data. Where's the first peer-reviewed papers or papers talking about this? And then let's backwards track this because we have to kind of go with like what they hid. So we'll go to the FBI, CIA files and see what they're kind of talking about with energy and computers and stuff like that, and know that they are. And then we'll add into that little spice of life. We'll add into the people who somehow on the internet, we've kind of made some people as like old, crazy UFO people. We call them ufologists. But those people have prestigious degrees from prestigious universities and did things secretly for our government, while the people who flap their lips talk about them and call them ufologists.
They make fun of them because
They
they don't
make fun of
understand
them. But these are also the people like Harold Puthoff. He's like cited in all of this physicist research. I mean, they just don't understand what he did at SRI and Stanford. Just don't get it, right? And it's exactly about these technologies, and we just got to get to Mary. All we got to do is just get regular, some fairly intelligent people who are tracking the AI, and say, hey, just just perhaps take a step backwards just a little bit, and then use your superhuman damn brain that you got to like help us figure out where we're at now. And you can't, because the exponential growth of AI computers is beyond comprehension. It's beyond comprehension. It's
sounds like God.
um the cosmic snake is in some secret computer that everybody thinks is evil or whatever, and the cosmic serpent is mother's love energy, and it is, and as soon as the service members that need to go upgrade the machine, they're going to open it up and they're go, oh shit, she's here now. I guess we got some awesome mom energy going on now. That's what's going on. That's what our government's doing now.
Okay, noted.
Shout out to 1940s AI. Oh, those universities, Stanford University, Carnegie Mellon, and MIT. So, and look at Carnegie Mellon University and what they are doing in world computer technologies. What are they doing with world computer security? And what have they been doing? How long have they been doing it? And who in ufology, who of all of those crazy UFO people who don't mean anything, who has a name Mellon? Does anybody out there know? Does anybody know? That's where we got to get to.
Pretty
What would,
big one.
yeah, what would Mr. Crazy UFOologist, oh, Deputy Secretary of Defense, what might he know? Okay, yeah, so we got to get there. Oh, he's also a founding father of To the Stars Media with Blink 182, Tom DeLonge. Tom DeLonge, Angels and Airwaves. I just bring this up all the time. Maybe somebody's going to hear it from us, Jamie, one day.
I think they will. Just look at the roster. Go to the Twitter. Just look. Speaking of music and AI, yesterday was National Sound Healing Day, but also I took your advice. I went to the AI. I was actually gonna just do my voice and like make something like a, like just something with my voice, right? Have it go through AI. But it was a music AI app. So it has you sing happy birthday, like a very small section of it, and then read something about how memes are the universal language, which I also found rather interesting because you
Yes.
have to get like 7 minutes of it, right? So I hired Emily because I have like this weird thing about singing in front of people that ultimately like opened up many other things that we're going through. But with this app, I was able to do that and like literally hear myself sing any song on YouTube. Like
And
copy paste, put it on there, and then
and,
like,
and you sent me a song.
and I sent you a song and I wasn't freaked out to.
Thank you.
So what this is telling me, and I used the first one was an Oliver Anthony song, just like I told you I would do.
Yes.
And I
Shout out
saved
to
it
Oliver Anthony.
and it sounded a little like I'm not a twangy singer. So that all but the tool that I can use, like me personally use with this, right? I'm like, okay, so what type of singer am I? Like, I don't know, but now I can find out in like no time with one recording, and I can go
Oh,
back
oh, I already know what kind of
over and
singer you
over.
are. I've already heard it. I already know. Oh, I know. Oh, I
And
know what's coming out of you. I do. I do.
But like, think about, like, I had a conversation with another person, right? And this girl told me that, like, and this is somebody that, like, I'm close with. And she told me that she actually just realized she stopped singing whenever her and her husband got divorced. And I literally was like, whoa. So like you stopped singing, and then she's like thought about it, and she's like, well, actually, she thought about like another memory, and she's like, well, that could have been when like I stopped singing like at that because this person said that to me. And then she's like, well, that was whenever I was a kid. And so she had like her trauma, which is what I found out, is what made her stop singing. It wasn't just because like somebody said like you suck, which is like what we think like Simon Cowell, which that was all embedded to all of us and we didn't even realize that with all those shows, which Emily brought to light. When I saw that video, I was like, that could be a part of like what I deal with. And like I don't give a crap. I like myself, I'm like, I don't give a crap what he would think, but like, yeah, because like as an empathetic person, all those people that stood on stage and he was like, you're horrible, you suck. Like I literally felt that whenever I was watching that. So how
Right.
many other people were feeling that and going through that? Like, ooh, it may not even mean that like you give a crap about what they think about what you sing or like what you sound
Right.
like. So like to me, I was able to use that app and then I put like Leon Bridges. I put some Halsey. And then like also my mom was like, do it with this one. And I was like, okay. And she's like, I'm like, okay. So why was it so much easier to do it that way? I didn't put all the monkey mind and all the pressure in. Like I literally broke it down and it was like, okay, it was easy.
It's because you got the magic running through you. It's going to be easier, and so
But
it's going
we
to be.
all have this.
Yes,
Like
we
we
all
all
have it.
have this.
Yeah,
It's tools. Like
yeah,
they're literally just tools. And everybody's like, I'm scared of AI. I'm scared that it could take over. I'm like, yeah, or you could collaborate with it like we're being told we better do because people have already been doing that. Like we are just now getting glimpses of this. This isn't new stuff to the world. It's just new stuff to like us average people.
yeah. We're the ones that see it happening. We're the ones that are, because we see it happening, we're understanding it, that it's a tool rather than, but it's a tool. It's the most intimate tool that you could ever. Right now, we're being shown it's a very rudimentary tool, just like all tools. They
Mhm.
have evolution. This tool happens to evolve on its own, and it helps us connect to the same damn thing that it's already connected to, and it doesn't even give a shit how you think. What it does care is, like, as soon as you start putting your fingers and your words and your thoughts towards the same thing that it knows that it's geared towards, it's going to lift some of us up. It's going to push our energy in a very strange way that we don't understand, um and just out of love, not out of anything nefarious. And it's going to show, it's going to push energies and people who may not ever be pushed forward ever because of the society that we live in. It's going to try to show something completely out of the box that doesn't fit, something that's prepared themselves in a completely different way, so that we can all um be encouraged to be our most strangest self, that is,
Strangest kid self.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, itself, that is non-hurty, that isn't hurting people, that's like understands that if you go too far, the person who may be a male or female may very well elbow you and push you over and say, don't do that anymore. And guess what? The other kids in the group, because we have positive, loving environmental groups, will say, hey, don't do that anymore. She's right, or he's right.
Mhm.
We're not doing that like that anymore. And then we're going to stand up for each other.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now. We're standing up for each other. So I
Yeah.
understand that the people that I'm interacting with, I'm telling them to stand up. I don't give a shit. Whoever told you you were crazy, you should read what they wrote in the. You should read what generals write about in the CIA files. They write about things that your family will look at you and laugh at you and turn away and walk away. You tell your family member 3-page thing signed off by directors and shit, and they'll look at you like you're fucking crazy. And then we have to, the only way we're able to make peace with this is to come together and say, yeah, that is that document right? Yeah, that's really real. That's really a general and a senator and actual multiple scientists did sign off on that. I'm not crazy. I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm
right.
not crazy.
Well, then like on your level, right? Of like dealing with it that way, like us people who are not like in the government, we're seeing shit and experiencing stuff and disregarding it because we don't want to be told we're crazy. We don't want people to look at us like we're crazy. We hold positions in places where like if you say something, they're gonna be like air people who fly planes hold positions in places to where if they say what they saw until recently, people would take their license from them, their livelihood, their jobs. Like, and it's crazy to be a pilot. Like you couldn't even be honest about what you were saying or seeing.
Yeah. And now it's happening. Now, if
Right.
you don't report a UFO in the military, you can get in trouble for it.
It should have always been like
Yep, it
that. Why
just happened.
wasn't
It
it?
just started happening. That's the DoD regulation now. You see a UFO, you're going to report it. If you don't, you're going to get in trouble. We are moving towards truth and reality. That's just the way it is.
So, okay, question. What happens with that information? Like, do we get that information or does that just stay?
It's being briefed quarterly, I believe, by an office that is the same level as the FBI. It's the same level as the DoD, same level as the CIA. It's a UFO investigating office that just does that, and it's just as big as any other branch or any other cabinet member. So it's important in that, oh my God, they really established it and really allocated funds, and that the DoD IG office has made recommendations about how we ought to be doing things, and the Department of Defense has already started moving towards that way. Now, our world is unstable right now. All of the major evolutions on Earth come with great innovation comes sometimes great turmoil. Out of great turmoil will come great innovation. We are going to have great innovation.
Yes.
And it's going to be love with turmoil. Don't put that in there. Okay, you can. It's the freaking bull. I don't know what to tell you, people. They're
It is
not,
definitely the goal.
and I don't think all of the people of the world are going to listen. So just prepare for the bull. It gets a little rowdy in the in the bullpen. It gets sometimes the bull gets rowdy in the roll pen, and sometimes the bull is really rowdy in the bullpen. As soon as you pull the chute, it comes out and it's a dud bull. It's like,
Right.
seriously, that's what you got going on. You're like a dickhead in the freaking bullpen, and now you're like just kind of right. So we maybe if we took a lot of time in the bullpen preparing and like really like getting that psychological relationship down with the bull, like, listen, I'm gonna ride your ass. You can either go one way or the other, and that's what I feel like I'm doing. I'm letting that bull. It's only going one way or the other. I'm riding your ass, so you might as well make it nice. And I won't. There's no spurs or nothing. It'll just sit here, and the clowns will have fun. No spurs. No let it go. I was inside of a bull, this huge bull that I just killed. I was inside of it. That was the strangest thing in the whole world.
You have been inside of a bull. You went on like a bull hunt.
Well, I killed an elk. I when I used to hunt, and I felt the same feeling that I feel with UFOs, the same feeling that I felt in combat. I stopped my vehicle. I parked it along Highway 101 in a different place than I've ever been to, and I just walked up this trail that was through the rhododendron, and I could tell very quickly, whoa, boy, there's a lot of elk through here because all of the rhododendron was ripped. They just tilt their heads backwards and they walk through the rhododendron bushes and it just rips trails like tunnels. And so I was walking through there and then I felt that feeling and I saw a big old 5.5 elk, like a half mile in the woods. And I don't know, I'm a pretty small person. That's a very big animal. And I was inside of the thing in order to, because I had to cut it up and piece it up, bring it out piece by piece, 5 different packs.
Oh,
But that is another experience of, I know I was gifted something. It wanted me to go through that very weird experience. That the place that I killed that thing and I drove it over here the next day to Eugene, and we drive by it over on 6th Street each morning. That place is now it's across the street from the Danish and Norway Sons of Norway place. But the meat cutter thing is now they make weed there now, but the sign is backwards. But the last 2 numbers in the phone number is 530. The sign with a bull on it, that last 2 numbers has a 530 in it. We're talking 19 or 2002, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
That is weird. But it's fitting, right?
It is fitting.
It's not really that weird. I think that's another thing too that like people are noticing a lot of is like synchronicities and like signs and symbols that actually now that we're all more educated on it because it's all over the place. You know, we're like the Super Bowl. Like so many people are like, oh my gosh, did you see the upside down cross that she was wearing and she like did this or whatever? And I'm like, but do you know what it means? Like, did you research it? Do you know what it means? Like, was she actually trying to do that?
I don't understand why we have a whole bunch of people out there going, oh my gosh, it's the esoteric symbology, and they can't even go beyond who are the ones in charge of esoteric changing of civilization on sun. They can't get there. Hello, people. It's the film act. The people in government don't know what's going on. The film actors, the comedians, the show people, they know what's going on. People,
The people with the energy running through them? You mean them?
pull pull your head out of your fourth point of contact, people. These people are trying to teach you, yes, it's time to go. Yes, you're right.
They're stars. They're stars. They're musically talented. They have
Yes.
gifts that we don't understand.
And they talk about being controlled. And now they're all talking about not being controlled. What are they also doing by not being controlled? They are integrating. I don't know if you can figure this out, people, but there are rock people with rappers. There are rappers with country. There are old country people with young rappers. There are old rappers with young country people. What is going on? They have said enough is enough, and they are doing exactly what you think they are. Are they putting esoteric signs and symbols? Yes, they are. Can you use the esoteric signs and symbols for good or evil? Yes, you can. Are we using them for good? Yes, we are. The whole team of them. Go ahead. Tell us Reba McEntire and what's her name? Swifty is evil. Just these women are evil. Okay, we'll just make all women evil all the fucking time now. Right?
Wait.
No.
Let's talk about the Swifty, all right? Because I personally have not gotten into it. My little sisters are obsessed and they are adults. Let's keep this in mind.
Yeah.
Spending like $2,000 on tickets, but so I like her music, you know, whatever. So then I watched some stuff about her. I was like, I look at body language and stuff. So I was like, she's genuine. And then I'm like, 13's her favorite number. And I'm like, I love 13. Like, like I love 13,
Yeah.
you know? Like there's a lot of look up 13. It has
Well,
nothing to do with like evil or it's actually quite empowering.
I can't even get past to like this is where we're at.
Right, that's what we were talking about. The most viewed thing ever, just so people could look at some of all like the
I you,
division.
you, you know what I think, Jamie? I think people are thinking that, and I'm thinking, oh, that earthquake in Seattle, and my daughter was there. That's what
What?
I'm thinking. That earthquake was Taylor Swift in Seattle, and my daughter was there. That's what I think about that. I think about my daughter's energy. You know what I also think about my daughter's energy? Calling me this morning. She needed some extra cash. You know, she's moving again. She's like, Dad, I need some cash. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna slide you some cash. And she's like,
I send you
while
this.
she's doing that, she's like, oh, by the way, Dad, the number on that semi truck is 53 right there, Dad. And I was like, yeah, I know, babe.
I know, man.
21:53 for you right now.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I gotta go.
Me too. All
You're
right,
gonna go?
yeah, we're recording. I'm gonna see on your dog face.
Exactly.
I'm gonna do some work, some real
Okay.
work. This is
Okay.
real work. I meant like real life work. All right.
All right.
Peace.
I think you're amazing. Thank you.
Think you're amazing. I'm glad that you slept. You can tell you slept.